Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the COP Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. It's been a while. Yes, I haven't posted anything since the Merseyside derby win. Again, what a win that was. And again, it's nice to beat the Blue Shite. But again, we're here to talk about Liverpool news anyway for you guys tonight. And of course, we're going to be speaking about a few different topics in tonight's episode. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Anyway, of course, we're going to be speaking mainly about what you can see by the thumbnail and the title. Of course, we're going to be speaking about FSG. Once again, we're going to be speaking about a potential non-investment. Of course, we've spoken over the last couple of weeks and months now on investment coming into the team and coming into the club, but it does look like that there won't be any Qatari investment coming in at least anyway, as far as we know of at the moment. But again, we'll speak through that in a brief moment. We're going to also speak about Luis Díaz as well, looking more and more closer to a return to the first team, which again is massive for the club, because look how much have we missed him since he's been out injured, with his knee injury, of course. And again, it's been we've missed then, I should say, Luis Díaz over the last couple of weeks. And of course, we will speak about Stefan Bajcetic as well, and him winning Player of the Month for Liverpool, and what he has been Liverpool's best player over the last couple of weeks. Anyway, so we will speak about that towards the back end of the show anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well. Let me know all of your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below on anything that I mentioned in tonight's episode as well. If anyone's new, then please hit that subscribe button as well, and hit that share button out as well. But let me read out the comments then, guys. Justin's in as well, saying FSG get out as well. Yeah, I think plenty of people will have that same thought and opinion after tonight's episode. Anyway, but let's beat Newcastle as well, says Trap. Hopefully, of course, our Newcastle preview will be live tomorrow at 9 o'clock as well. Hopefully I'll try and get a couple of people on as well to talk about the game, because again, it's a massive game for top four, if there is any hope of Liverpool getting top four this season anyway. But we will dive straight into it then, guys. And again, like I mentioned, we are going to be talking about FSG, and we are going to be talking about the Qatari, potential Qatari investment in Liverpool Football Club. Now, if you guys know way back when, probably back 2-3 months ago now, obviously Liverpool get put for sale, and of course the major rumor or the major suggestion was that there was going to be a Qatari Saudi consortium that was going to invest in Liverpool. Then it just turned into a pure Qatari investment anyway, that was going to bid in for Liverpool. But Alex Miller has come out and said that the QIA have moved on from Liverpool to Manchester United as they couldn't negotiate a majority share with FSG. There are at least two Qatari-based parties interested in United. Unclear whether there remains any possible route back to Liverpool for the QIA, which again, there is, like he mentions, there is two major consortiums. You have one that is the QIA, and the other one I think is built up by a majority of people throughout funds and that. So again, they're two separate parties, but again, both from Qatar. But as you can see there, the QIA seemed to be out of the Liverpool race anyway. As well, Qatari obviously tweeted out on Twitter as well, saying this was translated from English anyway. But after Liverpool's owners and their refusal to give a percentage exceeding 49%, which would be a control percentage and a control amount anyway, in which a decision making takes place. The comment changed completely for Manchester United. Very simple steps to announce the acquisition of United as well. And as Alex Miller, did also add to this as well, the QIA not willing to invest close to £2 billion for a minority share in Liverpool. So you kind of look at it like that and you go, well, what on earth are Liverpool, and what do Liverpool value the club out, and not necessarily Liverpool themselves, what the FSG value Liverpool as, because if a minority stake is around £2 billion in their eyes, you think about what could Liverpool be on the market for, in the entirety. Do FSG see it as they're more towards the Manchester United side of things, where you're looking around 6 billion, 6.5 billion, which judging from the numbers that has been thrown out, that's what FSG, I think, they think Liverpool are worth. Now, according to Forbes, or Forbes, however you pronounce it, of course, on their website, it says and states that Liverpool are worth an estimated 4.5 billion, which again, it is estimated, but even then, it's pretty accurate in that regards as well. We know if it was going to be a full sale, we know it was going to be over from what Chelsea bought, or Todd Bowley and that consortium bought Chelsea for, but are FSG pricing out Liverpool out of the bracket? Then in that aspect, I think yes, probably. But we've known this, and I've said it to you guys as well. FSG do not want to give a majority stake up. They don't. They want full control. They want to keep control. And again, like that, like Alex Miller has said, but Liverpool and FSG are not willing to give up more than 49% of what they currently own. And again, FSG are wanting that say, so they get the full say on what happens. I did think if someone did come in to be a minority shareholder, I did think that potentially there might have been somewhere where, again, someone might buy 40% of the club, go on then maybe 1 or 2 years, and then they would review the situation, and then potentially then that owner or the person that comes in with the share might take full control of the club. But if FSG want around £2 billion for what, 35% of the club, then I don't know what on earth they're smoking, because no one's going to offer that amount of money to be a part of that. And it's really scary in that aspect of things anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well in the comments, because I think there will be plenty of people with different views and different opinions as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts at least anyway. But we'll add on to it as well. FSG CEO as well, Sam Kennedy, has also come out and said, also done an interview, I believe, with the Liverpool Echo tonight as well. Anyway, saying that FSG CEO Sam Kennedy saying we've been open to our willingness to take an investment into the club. Will it happen or not? I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for Liverpool, but it's been an amazing business. And the business word, I don't like that. I don't like business being the main wording for them anyway. But he does also go on to say as well, we have a revenue first mentality here, where we are trying to generate as much revenue as possible for every source. And then we have been reinvesting it into the product on the field and into the venues which we acquire or equip anyway. Which, even that, when you look at it like that, where has the investment been? You look at, if he's speaking about Liverpool in particular, Liverpool, you look at the past year and a half, Liverpool have generated the most revenue out of anyone, or breaking revenue in terms of the Premier League at least, and I think it is everyone in Europe anyway. But you look at it, we've got the revenue coming in, we've got the Nike deal coming in now as well. Supposedly Liverpool are meant to be seeing the benefits of that now as well. It's massive amount of money, time in and time out. Yet again, look, Liverpool spend money. Look, we spent 40 million on Gakpo in January, but that's it. And when Liverpool do have a huge summer, it's then a season and a half where Liverpool don't spend big then. And again, it's that whole thing of, we don't spend above our means. But that's what Liverpool need right now. Liverpool, in the summer, we need a huge investment. We're not talking, cheap change here. We're not talking about signing players that are, 10, 15 million. We're currently looking at, we're currently looking at someone like a Jude Bellingham that's going to cost around 130 million pounds or 130 million euros, which is around what 110, 1.8 million, a million pounds anyway in that regard. Liverpool need a proper rebuild in the summer, and again, that's what terrifies me. If Liverpool don't get Champions League football, will they turn around and go, oh well, we're not in the Champions League, we can't go after this particular player, or we've gotta go around a different route? We can't afford to do that. If they want to have a successful business in their minds, a successful business needs it needs money, it needs growth, and at the moment, Liverpool's team needs that. Liverpool needs a huge rebuild over the next season and a half in terms of the transfer window, especially in midfield. But again, the squad itself will need a rebuild in time. So again, I think FSG need to be, they need to be open-minded in certain aspects of things, because again, they could quite easily turn around and go, oh well, look at our track record, look at the success we've had, but then look at other clubs in around the Premier League. Again, teams are spending endless amount of money. Chelsea have spent. You look at Chelsea, for example. Chelsea have spent nearly up to £600 million in 2 windows. That's an horrendous amount of money, but that's the way things are going. And that's sadly the way the things football are working. And you look at the way Liverpool have spent over the last year and a half. Liverpool are down in the list in terms of spending. It's not been as high as what people want. And again, it's not. I was having this conversation with someone, I think, yesterday. Liverpool don't need to spend, 200, 300 million each and every single summer. That's not, I don't think, what people are asking for. They're just asking for, let's say, for example, a £200 million summer this summer, get the right players in, get the rebuild that is required, or the start of the rebuild that is required, and then go from there and add slowly. You don't have to go out and spend 300, 400, 500 million each and every single summer. That's not sustainable. It's not. It's clearly not. But at least there should be something there, to rebuild and to use then. Because Liverpool and Manchester United are the 2 biggest clubs in English football, hands down. There's no debate about that. If anyone thinks there is any debate around that, then I don't know who you are. Liverpool and Manchester United are the 2 biggest clubs. This is why we've known from the Qatari consortiums that with these 2 going on to be on sale in the general market, there would be competition there. And now, because one club has turned around and gone, look, we're not willing to give up 100% or give up a majority stake. We want to keep hold of the keys. Then realistically, we only want help and recruitment in, and for you to practically come in and help us. People are not going to do that. And again, you look, and then people go around and go, oh, well, look at Chelsea. The main man at Chelsea is Todd Boehly. He's not. There's a numerous amount of people around Todd Boehly that, again, and it's not said in the public eye or anything like that, but there are multiple billionaires behind Chelsea Football Club at the moment. And again, Liverpool don't have that. There's many clubs that don't have that as well. But that's the way football are going. Football, and the Premier League especially, is going in that market of being the most competitive league in terms of everything, in terms of finance, in terms of revenue, in terms of competitiveness, in terms of everything at the moment. And again, I don't know if you guys have seen, obviously Jamie Carragher, I think last night on is it the CBS Champions League show, where he was having that debate with, I can't remember his name, but he's mainly he's a Spanish reporter, isn't he, or journalist, and he was saying teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, they need help fighting the Premier League. And as Jamie Carragher said it perfectly right, you look at the 90s and the 2000s and so forth, the Premier League was getting pickpocketed each and every single season, realistically, of the top stars. Real Madrid, Barcelona used to be able to cherry pick the top players. Look at us, for example. We had our spine of our team ripped apart by Barcelona and Real Madrid when we had to get rid of, or when they came in for Xavi Alonso, Mascherano as well back in the day. Obviously, Alvaro Arbeloa as well. When at the time, it was practically him and Jamie Carragher playing right back for the club. And that's the thing where Real Madrid and Barcelona, they've had their way over the last, 2 decades, last 20 years or so on, or even a bit longer than that, probably, in picking the best players. Now the Premier League is by far the best league in the world. And you've seen players now where, potentially, like the Premier League could have, and at the moment has the most expensive midfielder in Enzo Fernandez. Erling Haaland is, even though he's at Manchester City, he's in the Premier League. Us, potentially with Jude Bellingham as well, another top midfielder. Again, Manchester City are also involved in Jude Bellingham, and that's the thing. When you look at it at the moment, the Premier League is probably the most valuable it's been ever. For themselves and the teams that have been in it. So if you're investing in the Premier League, again, you're going to get not a huge payday out. I'm not saying that, but again, it will pay out for it long term, I think, with that. But with people not wanting to invest, like we've already mentioned, like £2 billion in what, a 30-40% stake at the moment in the club. Again, no one's going to be coming in for that amount of money. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, but let me know your guys' thoughts anyway in the comment section down below, because again, I think it will be very interesting to know your guys' thoughts as well. Yeah, that's why FSG want to keep full control of us as well. Says Mark, FSG better spend as well, says Trap, absolutely. Again, if they don't, there will be absolute uproar as well. They need to, but will they? That's the big question mark. Big question mark. No, it's that thing, isn't it? It's if Liverpool don't get Champions League football, will that excuse come out of, oh, we didn't get Champions League football, we can't do this, we can't do that? No, like, again, and we've heard of this time in, time out of, oh, Klopp's going to be given a numerous amount of funds and that. The last time Liverpool spent big in a transfer window was 2018, when we spent the money on um, I'm trying to think of all the players. When we spent money on Alisson Becker, Naby Keita, Fabinho, what was it then? Even Shaqiri as well. Like that, there's some of that we brought in like 5 or 6 players in the team, and that, like, that was the only big year that FSG have had, like in a single summer, and even then that was around 180-200 million pounds. But that's what's going to be needed again. Like, and you look at it, it might even be more than that, because if you even look at it, like Liverpool need at least 3 midfielders in the summer, at least. It's not even. I'm not even saying that as a joke. Liverpool need at least 3 midfielders, like in the summer. That's it. That's realistic. And when you look on, and again, I said this on another video as well. I think FSG are waiting, and like, obviously, there's going to be one huge transfer. There's going to be a mid, transfer or mid signing, and then I think they're looking at either a free transfer or a £10 million signing. That's then the 3 in midfield, or so on. And like I mentioned with Stefan Bajcetic, and we'll talk about him in a bit later on. But even when we speak about him, and I said that on plenty of shows, he could save Liverpool millions of pounds. He could, but he's not. He's not the end product yet. He's an 18-year-old kid that's performing unbelievably well. But what happens when he has a dip in form? Not saying that's going to happen, and I don't think it will happen. But what I'm saying is, you can't put pressure, total pressure, on an 18-year-old kid going on 19 years old. Now, for example, if we were to sign Jude Bellingham and Matthias Nunes as the 2 that come in, just using that as a prime example, we've got a 19-year-old kid coming in. Jude Bellingham, world class, world star. 22-year-old in Matthias. Is he 22 or 23-year-old in Matthias Nunes? I've said to you guys, I think personally Liverpool should 1,000% go after is it Ugarte or Ugarte from Sporting. I think Liverpool should 100% go after him. 21-year-old. That's the kind of people that Liverpool should be going after. The problem is it's money, and that's the thing. But you look at it, Jude Bellingham, 130 million euros. Matthias Nunes looks to be 50 million euros, and even then, Ugarte, you're looking around 15, 20 million euros, probably even a bit more by the end of the season because he's having a very, very good season for Sporting. And that's the thing. Plus, people know Liverpool want midfielders, so they're gonna, put the price tag up even more in that regard. So again, the FSG are going to need to spend, and if they don't, then there will be uproar. There will be uproar. Hey Brian, hope you're well as well. Idiot Abroad saying if you spent 2 billion on 40%, there's no guarantee they would sell you another 11% later down the line. So it's not financially feasible. It would take 100 years to recoup your investment as well. That's the thing, though, isn't it? Like, the only way Liverpool are look. I think it's one or two of you have asked, is a full sale out the window? Yes, I think a full sale of the club is gone. I don't think FSG are willing to sell the club. If I'm being honest, I think what they haven't anticipated for, in my opinion, they didn't anticipate Manchester United putting themselves up for sale around the same time, and they didn't expect other things. I'm not going to mention it, but I don't think they expect one or two other things. But what I don't get personally is why put yourselves on the market without realistically having the idea of selling the club and as is it in its entirety. Why not come out and just say, look, and again, the club has said, I should say this, before I do say this, the club has publicly said that they've looked at investment since 2016, 2017, around that time. For them to then come out and go, oh yeah, the club's up for sale. It's we're looking at potential new ownership or potential options. And then of course we've heard about the NBA team that they want to make. We've heard about them potentially wanting to go in other sports and so on. Like again, I think even baseball, they were looking to go elsewhere with that. Obviously, they currently have the Boston Red Sox, but again, I think what was it? Was it NBA? I know they were going to do that. Obviously, they're in ice hockey at the moment as well. But again, they want to put more. They want to extend their portfolio because that's all it is at the moment with FSG. As their CEO said, look, we look at it as a business, not as a not as a football club. We're not football fans. We're a business club, and that's the thing I don't like. Because the thing, again, looking at it, they just want like you said, we look at revenues first before anything else. That's I mean, you think about it, and this goes on to a little bit like with clubs and so on, and I talk about every single year when we talk about kits, for example. Kits these days are so expensive, it's ridiculous. And like we mentioned, supposedly now Liverpool are supposed to be seeing a benefit from the Nike deal, and to have the Nike deal, to have the revenue that Liverpool are having, we're talking record-breaking numbers. We're not talking cheap change here. We're talking about a very, very big amount of money. You look at the wage bill at Liverpool. That's something's gone off there. Where Liverpool, I think, now are paying the second highest behind, I think, Man City in terms of wages. Like that needs to get done. But the problem is with that, when you sign more and more players, again, at the moment, Mo Salah's on 350 a week. People are now going to look at 250, £300,000 per week. FSG broke their own rules, then let's say, with Mo Salah. And when people are coming into the club, of course they'll want to do that, and so on. So again, it changes, what their stance. And again, anything I say in this video, again, things can change in an instant. That's the one thing I will say to you guys as well. Look, at today, right now, on what's the date? The 16th of February. We're talking about this today. Literally in a couple of days' time, it could be something else. It could be completely different. Some other person might come in. But like I just said just now, if we're talking about a full sale of the club, it's not going to happen, because FSG do not want to get rid of the club. Simple as, they want to keep the club, no matter what. But being offline all day, what's happening? Again, I think most of the chats replied back to Brian as well. I heard Man United drew with Barca. Yeah, they did. I think Barca were a bit unlucky, weren't they, to draw against as well. But no corner, Man City sell more shirts than anyone else. Sure they do. Sure they do. Brian anyway. But yeah, finished 2-2. And Chelsea have £100 million striker out on loan. Exactly. Can you imagine Liverpool with £100 million striker on loan? Jesus Christ. Again, Chelsea have spent a ridiculous amount of money, but 200 million buys us two players. It's going to take a lot more than one window. It'll take the rebuild will take 2 years at least to properly go through, because you look at it now, like Liverpool. Let's say over the next 2 summers, Liverpool will need a rebuild, a midfield rebuild, and probably one or two centre offs. To help out Ibu, because Joel Matip and Joe Gomez, I think, might be gone in a season or two. But even then, it doesn't necessarily. You don't necessarily need 200-300 million each and every single summer. But the problem is, at the moment, Liverpool need a major build, like a major change. It's not the fact that we can just buy one midfielder and then go and get another one next season. That's impossible for Liverpool. If Liverpool wanted to do that, that should have happened 2 summers ago, not now. Like that's the simple reality of it, at least anyway. But Mark says, yeah, a few seasons on a full rebuild as well, absolutely. So are they saying sale is off? I wouldn't say I wouldn't say a partial sale is off. A full sale, yes, I would say is off for Liverpool. But minority stake, I'd say no, that's not off, because again, it's not just Qataris that are looking at Liverpool. There are German investors, there are, I think, Swedish investors, there are Americans as well that are looking to invest in Liverpool. Like, there are multiple people around looking at opportunities. It isn't just a Qatari or Saudi consortiums looking at Liverpool. Look at Chelsea, for example. Apparently, there was 55 or 50 or 60 different people looking at Chelsea. So if they're looking at Chelsea, why not look at Liverpool in that regard? So again, you'd think it would be somewhere similar in that regard anyway. But again, the one thing I will say, the club will throw out a lot of false news in terms of, oh, nothing's happening, this is that, this is this. Nothing will be mentioned in that regard. And the club will throw out something just to fend people off and give them practically a lie in that regard as well. So again, it's like when we're not interested in a player, the club will come out and go, yeah, we're not interested in him. Like when we talk about Jude Bellingham and we talk about Matthias Nunes, when those names have been thrown at the club haven't said anything back. So again, they are people that Liverpool are looking at. But again, I think when was it last year when I think Ruben Neves got thrown out at Liverpool, that it got quickly like, no, we're not buying Ruben Neves for this amount. I think something like 60 million was thrown out at the time. And then, yeah, Liverpool clearly weren't going to buy Ruben Neves for that amount anyway. But VVD in January as well, says Bry. Yeah, we did get VVD in January. If FSG doesn't sell now, the LFC price will only go down. It won't go down for a while, Michael, I don't think. Will it go up? No, it won't go up. No, but the thing, the only other thing that could help Liverpool or help the sale of Liverpool is see what Manchester United get sold for. That's the only other thing now that I think that could potentially see something else. But again, with me saying that, again, something might change. There might be a breakdown with Manchester United, and then they change their mind again and go back to Liverpool. That could be a possible thing. But again, I think FSG are waiting to see how much Manchester United go for to then go, well, if they're worth that much, why aren't we worth that much? And thinking that. But again, financially and on revenue point, Manchester United earn more than Liverpool, or did earn more than Liverpool. Which again, that's all they care about is money and prices and so on as well. But FSG just waiting on European Super League as well. Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's not going away anytime soon. The Super League, to be fair, but all the Premier League signed a contract with all the teams that they won't join any other league as well. I think a form of the Super League will be formed. Maybe. Again, it would be interesting to see. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, UEFA don't cover themselves in glory. Like this whole change now with the the new style of the Champions League, I think it's so stupid the way they're going to go for it. If it's not fixed, don't change it. And for me, the Champions League at the minute, again, it's perfect the way it is. Don't change it. But again, they don't care about that. They just care about money. Nunes, Bajcetic, and Bellingham next season, plus Endo, Thiago, and Elliott. Six miss next season as well. Nunes, Bajcetic, Bellingham next season, plus Endo, Thiago, and Elliott. So that'd be Fabinho gone in that way, Bry as well. I could see maybe Fabinho being gone, but I'm not sure. If FSG don't sell, then forget about Bellingham. I would disagree with that because look at Tchouaméni. Liverpool were willing to spend 70 million on Tchouaméni last year, as well as buying Darwin Núñez, and again, nothing happened. So where's that money gone? That's the only thing I would say anyway in that regard. 6 minutes as well. And again, we were willing to spend 70 million euros, but again, he wanted Real Madrid, and then Real Madrid went, oh yeah, there's 100 million euros that we got free because we didn't buy Mbappe. As well, John Henry holds the majority stake in FSG and don't want to let us go as well. Well, it was that rumor, wasn't there, Mark and chat, about there being a civil war within FSG? Like, was it like 3 weeks ago, something like that? That supposedly there was meant to be a civil war in FSG, and that's a load of shite as well. But again, like what John Henry wants, he will get in that regard as well. That's what I'd say. Anyway, but Michael, my mother signed a contract with my father, and now see Christmas. For God's sake, for God's sake, that's a good one. To be fair, well done, idiot, there. But Mark says I have to sell 3 players at least to buy one. Well, you're looking at it in terms of wages just from Naby and Ox. I think we generate, is it like 85 million a year or something like that from letting them to go into someone else. I think someone around there in a year anyway. But sell Jones, Phillips, and Kelleher anyway. Take Kelleher out of there, Bry, I would say. I think Kelleher won't be going anywhere next year. I think the year after though, I think he will. I think he will go somewhere. Full sale was never on the cards, says Mark, potentially as well. But to be fair, Qatari investment was never on the cards either. It was just social media rumors, and the fans lost their shit. I don't think that is the truth. I think Qatari investment was fully on it, but the problem is the Qatari investment group want majority stake. It's not just social media. They wanted it all. They wanted to buy Liverpool, but FSG want minority stake. They don't want to let go. So again, It might be though, and again, like I said, there's loads of things out there right now in terms of rumors and suggestions. But again, I think this was pretty much true. What's happened anyway. They want to start a franchise with LeBron in Las Vegas when he retires, and it will cost a fortune. And that's why I thought they would sell. I think the rumored amount, isn't it? I think it's like 4 billion to start everything up with that. And the thing is as well, the NFL. That's what I was trying to think of earlier on. The you know the NFL, NBA, them two in particular, the owners get looked after. Very much get looked after, especially in the NFL. In terms of the league practically looks after the owners, and the owners benefit from being an owner of a certain team. So again, that's what they want. And again, at the moment, Liverpool have swollen FSG's portfolio out of proportion. When we talk about, look, they have something at the moment that is estimated worth 4.5 billion. By the looks of things, they want 6 billion plus for the club. Judging from, again, like I said, working out the numbers roughly. But even in that aspect of things, you're putting yourselves in a very small pond, and you're putting yourselves in an even smaller pond if you're not willing to, well, if you're just willing to let go of what 40% of what what you are for £2 billion. That's you're leaving yourself in a very, very small pond in that regard, as well. So again, it swings around roundabouts, realistically. Only way LFC will be able to buy 3 decent players by selling someone like Salah or VVD. I think I'd do the two things, Salah potentially, but then again, you have to replace Mo in that regard. Salah would only bring in about 80 million, in my opinion. Yeah, probably. But again, who is going to buy Mo for that? Like, I think you're only setting yourselves up for one club, and that's probably PSG in that regard. Yesterday, there was reports on the Echo that Liverpool will have 85 million available for the summer. Freaking hell, we need a lot more than that. If that is true, then again, Liverpool need a ton more than that. It's hopefully that's. I think I read somewhere that Liverpool could free up 85 million by something, but again, if it's true that it's only just 85 million we've got, then yeah, we have no chance in that regard anyway. But over the next 2 summers, we definitely lose Matip and Gomez. Sooner the better, but other more important areas as well. Well, I like I said to you guys, I would like Indika from Frankfurt, but he looks like he's going to Barcelona on a free transfer. So again, there goes one hope. Anyway, in that regard, costs too many to rebuild as well. We have for a bit. It would be a full sale or no investment. FSG have been looking for minority sales since 2016. I already mentioned that. Yeah, 2016, 2017. Nothing happened then. So why would it happen now? It's a good valid point. I'm not going to argue with that. We have been buying players in 2019 that we're going to replace the aging now, as well. But again, I've always said this to you guys. If you're looking for a good example of a midfield that is brilliant, and then replacing it with players that are going to be the midfield of their club for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Look at Real Madrid. Real Madrid have done it perfectly. They had Casemiro, they had Modric, they had Cruz. Look at what they've done. They've transformed that midfield where now you've got Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde as well. There's probably other players I'm forgetting about as well, but look at they've practically changed that three, but the quality is there, and that's the problem. What Liverpool have done in terms of we've allowed Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago to run themselves into the ground, and then not have a three behind them to build back up in that regard. Stefan Bajcetic is one guy that will do that without a shadow of a doubt. But the problem is, again, you can't just rely on an 18-year-old kid to come in and transform everything. Like, Stefan Bajcetic for me has been absolutely brilliant for Liverpool, but again, you can't just rely on him for for the midfield rebuild in that regard. The more I think about, the more I think we might go for Mason Mount. No chance we go after Mason Mount. Not the contract money he's on and wants as well. At the moment, he's on 300k a week. He wants around 350 for 400k a week from what Chelsea fans have been speaking about anyway. So there's no chance Liverpool go after Mason Mount. They might like Mason Mount, or Klopp might like Mason Mount, but there's no way, absolutely no way Liverpool go after Mason Mount for that amount of money in terms of wages. Just want it sorted. I hate not knowing. Lol, want to go back to winning ways. I think we all do, don't we? Again, I think I think people have gone on about. I think it's been like on this day, Liverpool, like Sadio Mane made Liverpool go 25 points clear at the top of the league, and you're like, Jesus Christ, that was 3 years ago. Like Liverpool were winning the Premier League by 25 points 3 years ago, and now we're ninth in the league and looking miserable. But again, things are looking brighter in that regard, especially if we could potentially, beat Newcastle on the weekend anyway. Liverpool can't afford Bellingham. They have to pay FSG the loan back for building the new stand and the training ground. I don't believe that for any sense. FSG. Well, Liverpool don't need to pay FSG back. Let's get that straight. Supposedly everything's paid for and everything's done in terms of that. I think the problem is with Bellingham is the fact that Dortmund now have what they call a price for Jude Bellingham. Enzo Fernandez, that transfer buggered up Liverpool. Enzo Fernandez transfer buggered up, I think, Liverpool's plan for Jude Bellingham and that transfer. Because now I think Dortmund have said he's not going to go for Bellingham's not going to go for anything less than 120 million euros. That's already been said by Dortmund. They've said that I think last week or at the end of the window. They said, look, if he's going for that, why isn't Bellingham going for that? So again, when you think about it like that, realistically, it's going to be, it's going to cost a bit anyway for that. We should go back for Valverde if Madrid get Jude. Like Valverde at Liverpool, I'm not going to lie. Valverde would cost over 70 million. I think you're looking probably 85, 90 million probably for Valverde. Again, you're dealing with Real Madrid. Florentino Perez does not want to let go of his good players as well, especially when you think about it, they spent £5 million on him. That's ridiculous amount of money. When you think about it in terms of profit. Will FSG sell? What do you think, mate? No. I'll repeat like what I said earlier on. In terms of full sale, no. In terms of minority, there's always hope and always potential. But again, FSG will still remain the main occupier for Liverpool anyway. But Michael, we bid 100 million for him after they got Tchouaméni. And it was rejected as well. Yeah, that was supposedly a rumor, wasn't it? But again, I don't know. In particular, again, it was rumored in Spain that Liverpool were looking at Valverde, but nothing. I think even Paul Joyce said that nothing really was there with Valverde. But again, I'm not entirely sure. I just can't see us bringing any names, named players as well. Michael says, I think we will get Nunes and Sanderberg or some youngster from Liga or Portugal. Like I said, Michael, if you take a look at for midfield, look at Ugarte from Sporting. If you're looking for players to look at, Ugarte. For me, Liverpool should 100% go after Ugarte from Sporting. 21-year-old Uruguayan international. For me, DM wise, he could be brilliant for Liverpool. But again, what do I know? I'm not an analyst. I'm not anything like that. I look at the numbers sometimes, but yeah, I could be completely wrong. in that regard anyway. But I know people are saying Enzo is the benchmark, but any negotiations with his salt, that's the thing. But the problem is, as much as I feel Enzo was ideal for me, the thing is Enzo Fernandez was a release clause. So the problem is Chelsea had to pay, well, will pay 120 million. I think was it 80 million pounds straight away, and then the rest installments and that. That's the thing with Liverpool. Obviously, installments is the number one process for Liverpool, but Dortmund will want something like that. They'll want 60, 50, 60, 70 million up front, and then the rest in add-ons. It's just how much are Liverpool are willing to go, and that's the thing. If they don't go the full way, then what's next? Because I don't think anyone has really thought about what happens if Liverpool don't get Jude Bellingham. We've all thought about what happens if Liverpool do get Jude Bellingham, but again, I don't think anyone within the club has thought, what happens if we don't get him? Like, is there a plan B? Is there a plan C? Like, who knows? In that regard, anyway. But we'll get on to the other news anyway. Because again, we've spoken about this for over 50 minutes. But let's speak then, of course, about Luis Díaz, and of course is set for a return over the next couple of weeks as well. Obviously, Keith McDonald also mentioned Luis Díaz training with Liverpool's rehabilitation coach David Ridings earlier this afternoon. Expect he'll still be for a few weeks. At least away from a return to action, as introduction contact is a gradual process. It does also say that Kate Gordon started some process as well back in December as well. But Luis Díaz back running on the field. He will again, him running on the field. It's amazing. It's the fact that I think he's been running now for a while. Away from the pitch, like away from the team and that, but again was more towards running around and being involved in first team training in terms of around the boys as well. And again, could potentially he have a huge impact on Liverpool's back end of the season? Again, why not? Again, if Liverpool beat Newcastle on the weekend, we're 6 points away with 2 games in hand. Like Liverpool could do it. But again, we have to beat Newcastle. You don't beat Newcastle, you don't get top 4. Simple as. On the weekend. But again, like the fact that Jota's back, the only players at the moment that aren't available, Thiago, Canate. That's it, I think, by the top of my memory. Jota's back. Nunes is there. Gakpo's there. Salah's there. The midfield is back nearly, apart from Thiago and that. So again, Virgil van Dijk also back as well. He will most likely start against Newcastle as well. So again, the base is there, and like we'll mention it tomorrow as well, Newcastle might be looking ahead to next week, because of course they have their cup final against Manchester United in a week's time. So again, maybe they might be thinking of that as well. But again, Luis Díaz back running as well, and getting into rehab with the coach as well. Again, brilliant news in that regard anyway. But read out a few more of your comments, and then we'll talk about Stefan Bajcetic as well. We won every trophy there this win with Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, and Gini. We don't need superstars in midfield, just players Klopp wants who will still work. Absolutely. Installments are the only way to go. Absolutely. Ugarte will be great. Absolutely brilliant player. Hope we aren't rushing him back again. I don't want to rush him back at all. If there's a possibility where he could get injured, don't just keep him to one side for next season. Sorry, that was more about transfers in general than just Bellingham. Chelsea can't buy everyone. Exactly. Even though Chelsea do want to buy everyone. Newcastle having a dip too as well. Absolutely, they are. Need to play like we did the other night, or we'll be in trouble. Absolutely. Again, yep, it's a good time to play them as well. The sad thing is, if we don't get UCL, then we'll only fall back further as well. That is a bit of a worry as well, Michael, as well. But again, hopefully the Reds can change their luck anyway over the next couple of weeks. But they have changed their luck in terms of midfield, and this man in particular, Stefan Bajcetic, as well, as you guys saw earlier on, had a brilliant game in the Merseyside derby, and of course has won the Player of the Month for Liverpool, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, he's been brilliant all month and been probably Liverpool's best player out of this very, very tough period for the Reds. But he did also mention as well that he's very happy, very pleased and thankful to the fans, to the players and the staff as well, and obviously to his family and his girlfriend as well. They've all helped a lot at this time as well. So great to see that as well. And again, absolutely deserved as well. Stefan Bajcetic winning Liverpool's Player of the Month as well. Absolutely brilliant to see. And again, like I said to you guys a couple of videos ago, he could save Liverpool millions in the transfer window. First game ever in the number 6 role on Monday. And again, I probably see him starting in that same position against Newcastle as well, potentially. So again, could definitely change, but again, massively deserved, and congratulations to him as well, because again, it's been a tough period, but again, like Mo Salah said, he's been by far the best outfield player, or probably the best player as well, overall as well. But again, he's been so good over the last couple of weeks, and again, for me, keeps his place in the team for the rest of the season. No doubt about that. Again, we talk about who could start against the likes of Real Madrid. Bajcetic definitely starts against Real Madrid. No doubt about that. I really hope we do get top 4 or do win the Champions League. Never say never. That's one thing I'll say with Liverpool Football Club. Never say never. We all do, Michael, as well. Definitely deserved. Bajcetic will be a massive for us, but just we don't. I hope we don't burn him out, as well as you said. But they and Mark also saying we do have a load of good kids as well. Yeah, we do. Like I said on another video, the future is bright for Liverpool in terms of that. But again, hopefully we can start now performing and start doing good performances and start getting the results now that we need for the end of the season anyway. But guys, that's going to be it from me anyway. Big thank you to all of you guys as well in the comment section down below. Of course, we've spoken about FSG, we've spoken about the Qatari investment. That looks to be off now, of course, and again, a full sale looks to be off in general for Liverpool. Of course, we've spoken about Luis Díaz, and of course, we've spoken about Stefan Bajcetic anyway. But again, guys, just to let you guys know, we'll be live tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Again, we're always live at 9. That's our usual time anyway, that we're live, unless it's a post-match reaction. But again, I'll be live for Newcastle preview for tomorrow, so we'll be looking at that anyway. And of course, any other breaking news or any news in general that breaks, will be live straight away anyway with that. Or if anything else comes out, we'll be live with it anyway. But thanks for everyone. Have a good night all as well. But yeah, like I said, if there is anyone new around here, as always, then please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well. It's very much appreciated as well. Please hit the notification bell as well. That'll also massively help as well. But yeah, hopefully as well, we can start performing well again against Newcastle. But again, we'll speak about that tomorrow in tomorrow's episode anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-ra.